Hi everyone, this is the Nordic Venture Show, your guide to the exciting world of Nordic startups and venture capital. In today's episode, we're exploring a startup called Hopsworks.
All right, deep divers, buckle up. Today we are diving headfirst into the world of AI lakehouses.
Okay.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Sounds like something out of a futuristic corporate retreat, right?
It does have a bit of a buzz to it, doesn't it?
It does, but hold on to your hats, because once we break this down, you'll see why this is way more exciting than it sounds. We're sifting through some intel from Hopsworks, a company leading the charge in this whole AI lakehouse scene.
Yeah.
And don't worry, we're dishing the jargon, focusing on the good stuff, the so what, for all of you eager learners. You ready to dive deep?
Absolutely.
All right, so lay it on us.
Okay.
What is an AI lakehouse?
An AI lakehouse, well, think of it this way. Imagine all the data your business relies on, customer info, sales numbers, market trends, you name it,
Right.
all flowing into one massive, well-organized lake. That's the lake part. It's about bringing all your data together in one place. But here's where it gets really interesting. Attached to this lake is the house, which is packed with powerful AI tools. These tools can analyze the data, learn from it, and help you make smarter decisions.
So it's not just about storing data, it's about actually using it to make things happen.
Exactly. It's like having a brilliant data scientist living right in your data center.
Okay.
Except this one works 24/7 and never takes a coffee break.
I'm intrigued, but we've all felt the pain of slow data processing before. Even with all this fancy AI, is it actually going to be faster than the old way of doing things?
That's where Hopsworks really blows the doors off. They're claiming speeds that will make your head spin.
Okay.
We're talking single-digit millisecond latency, which, for you and me, means practically instantaneous.
Hold on. For those of us who don't speak tech, what does that actually mean? Like, how much faster are we talking?
It's like comparing a horse-drawn carriage to a supersonic jet.
Okay.
Okay, maybe not that extreme, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Traditional data processing can take hours, even days, for complex queries. With an AI lakehouse, we're talking about getting those same results in the blink of an eye.
Whoa. All right. So speed is definitely a factor here, but we all know time is money. What's the impact on the bottom line?
Well, Hopsworks boasts that some users see up to an 80% reduction in costs.
Wow.
That's because they've streamlined the entire process, making it incredibly efficient.
So it's not just a cool piece of tech.
Right.
It's a smart business move.
Yeah.
Faster results, lower costs. I'm starting to see why this is such a big deal. But can any company actually use this? Or is this just for the tech giants with massive budgets?
That's what makes this even more interesting. Hopsworks talks about two very different organizations using their platform.
Okay.
First up, Paddy Power, a global betting company.
Oh, man.
And on the flip side, we have Arbetsförmedlingen, the Swedish labor market agency.
Okay, now that's what I call range. A betting company and a government agency using the same technology. You've definitely got my attention. What were they actually using it for?
Well, Paddy Power was all about personalizing the customer experience. Think real-time odds boosts, tailored recommendations, the kind of stuff that keeps users engaged and coming back for more.
Makes sense. In a fast-paced market like online betting, staying ahead of the game is crucial. But what about a government agency? I can't imagine they're too worried about personalized betting odds.
Not quite. Arbetsförmedlingen was using the AI Lakehouse to match job seekers with the best opportunities and doing it more effectively than ever before.
Interesting.
Think about the mountains of data they have on skills, experience, job openings. The AI Lakehouse helps them sift through all that to make faster, more accurate matches.
So we've got a global betting company and a government agency, both seeing real benefits from this technology. That's pretty impressive. But before we get too carried away, I know our listeners probably thinking about the big what if here. All this data in one place, all this talk about speed and efficiency. What about security?
You're spot on, and I'm glad you brought that up because it's something that Hopsworks emphasizes quite a bit. They talk about data sovereignty, governance, and even offer on-premises solutions.
Okay, I'll admit it. Some of those terms sound a little like tech jargon to me. What do they actually mean for someone like me or for our listener who just wants to keep their data safe?
In a nutshell, it means you have control over your data. You decide where it's stored, who has access to it, and how it's used.
Okay, so it's not like they're just throwing all this data into a giant digital lake and hoping for the best.
Right.
They're actually thinking about how to keep it secure and under control.
Exactly. And That's really important, especially with all the data privacy concerns these days. Hopsworks understands that trust is paramount, so they've built security into the very foundation of their platform.
Well, that's reassuring to hear. But honestly, sometimes I feel like tech companies, they say one thing and do another. What makes Hopsworks different? How can we be sure they're really walking the walk when it comes to data security?
That's a fair point, and I think one of the things that sets Hopsworks apart is their commitment to transparency. They're not trying to hide anything.
Okay.
They're very open about how their technology works and what measures they have in place to protect your data.
Okay, I like the sound of that. Transparency is definitely key, especially when it comes to something as important as data security.
Absolutely. They want their users to feel confident and empowered, not kept in the dark.
Right.
And that's a refreshing change of pace, wouldn't you say?
I'd say so.
Mm-hmm.
But let's shift gears a bit here. We've talked a lot about speed, efficiency, and security. But what really caught my eye was this whole concept of personalized LLMs that Hopsworks mentioned. I'm dying to know more.
Ah, yes, personalized LLMs. That's where things get really interesting. Imagine having an AI assistant that's not just trained on generic data from the internet, but on your company's specific information, your documents, your data.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
You're telling me I could have an AI that knows my business inside and out. That's mind-blowing.
It is pretty incredible when you think about it. It's like having a team of brilliant analysts who have memorized every single detail about your company and can answer any question you throw at them instantly.
Okay, I'm officially hooked. Tell me more about these personalized LLMs. What would that look like in practice? What could I actually do with that kind of power at my fingertips?
Well, imagine this. You're trying to find some obscure piece of information
Yeah.
buried in your company's files, something that would normally take hours, maybe days to track down.
Right.
With a personalized LLM, you just ask.
No more digging through endless folders and spreadsheets.
Exactly.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Or picture this. You need to write a report for a big presentation,
Right.
but you don't have time to crunch all the numbers and tailor the message to your audience. Your personalized LLM can do that for you,
Wow.
pulling insights from your data and crafting a compelling narrative.
Okay, that's seriously impressive. It's like having a super-powered research assistant and speechwriter all rolled into one. But let's be real, something this advanced has to cost a fortune, right?
That's what's so remarkable about Hopsworks' approach. They've figured out a way to make personalized LLMs not just powerful, but actually cost-effective.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
How do they pull that off? It sounds too good to be true.
Remember how we talked about the AI Lakehouse being incredibly efficient with data?
Yeah.
That's key here.
Okay.
They've optimized the entire process of training and running these LLMs so it doesn't require massive computing power, which translates into big savings.
So they've basically democratized access to this cutting-edge technology.
Yeah.
It's not just for the big players anymore.
You got it.
Wow.
They've leveled the playing field, making it possible for businesses of all sizes to harness the power of AI. It's a game changer, for sure.
It really is. This whole concept is blowing my mind. I have to say, it's not every day that we come across a company that's not just selling a product,
Right.
but actually pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
I agree.
It feels like they're on a mission to unlock the true potential of AI and make it accessible to everyone. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk.
So for our listeners who are just wrapping their heads around all of this, what's the key takeaway here? If they remember just one thing about AI lakehouses, what should it be?
I'd say the most important thing to remember is that this technology represents a fundamental shift in how we interact with data. It's not just about storing data or even analyzing it.
Right.
It's about creating a system where data and AI work together seamlessly to unlock insights, automate tasks, and drive better decisions.
It's about making data work for you, not the other way around.
Precisely.
Right.
And as we've seen from the examples Hopsworks provides, this technology has the potential to transform a wide range of industries and applications. From personalized marketing to medical diagnoses, the possibilities are truly limitless. This has been a wild ride. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier: security. It's great that Hopsworks is thinking about these things. But with all this talk about efficiency and speed, are there any potential downsides or risks we should be aware of? I mean, we hear about data breaches all the time.
That's a crucial question. And you're right. Anytime you're dealing with sensitive data, especially at this scale, security has to be a top priority.
Yeah.
And to their credit, Hopsworks addresses this head on.
Okay, that's good to know. So what are they actually doing to make sure all this data is handled responsibly and securely? What kind of safeguards are in place?
Well, first and foremost, they emphasize their commitment to meeting the highest industry standards for data governance and compliance. For example, they mention being ISO 27001 certified and SOC 2 Type 2 certified,
Okay.
which means they've undergone rigorous independent audits to prove they're handling data responsibly.
I'll be honest, those certifications don't mean a whole lot to me. Can you break it down for those of us who aren't security experts?
Sure. It boils down to this. They've demonstrated that they have robust security protocols, access controls, and procedures in place to protect your data from unauthorized access, breaches, and other threats.
Okay.
They're not messing around when it comes to security.
Okay, that's reassuring, especially with all the high-profile data breaches we've seen in the news lately. Is there anything else they're doing to address these concerns?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Beyond just checking off compliance boxes, they've built a range of features designed to give users granular control over their data. For instance, they have something called role-based access control, which lets you decide exactly who has access to what information.
So no more interns accidentally deleting the entire customer database.
You got it.
Okay.
And they also offer data encryption both while it's being transmitted and when it's stored.
Okay.
That means even if someone did manage to get their hands on your data, it would be completely useless to them without the decryption keys.
Okay, now we're talking. It sounds like they've really thought this through and are going above and beyond to keep data safe.
They are. And remember, they also offer on-premises solutions.
Right.
So if you're extra security conscious, you can choose to keep all your data within your own systems and firewalls.
That's a really good point. It gives organizations the flexibility to choose the level of security that's right for them
Yeah.
based on their specific needs and risk tolerance. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, which I appreciate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It highlights the fact that AI lakehouses aren't meant to be a rigid, inflexible solution. They can be customized and adapted to different industries, use cases, and security requirements.
So to recap, AI lakehouses offer incredible potential for anyone looking to unlock the power of their data. But it's crucial to choose a provider that makes security a top priority and gives you the tools and control you need to protect your information. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's all about finding that sweet spot between innovation and responsibility. And from what we've seen, Hopsworks seems to be doing just that.
I agree. It's refreshing to see a company that's not just caught up in the hype of new technology, but is also thinking about the bigger picture, the ethical considerations,
Yeah.
and the potential impact on individuals and society as a whole.
I couldn't agree more. It's about using this technology responsibly and ethically to create a better future.
Well said. I'm glad we had this conversation. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement of what AI can do,
Yeah.
but it's so important to step back and consider the potential downsides as well.
You're absolutely right. Being informed and making educated decisions is crucial in this day and age, especially with technology evolving at such a rapid pace. And hopefully our deep dive today has given our listener the information they need to do just that.
That's what we aim for with every episode, to empower our listeners to be informed decision makers. But before we let our listener go, I have one final thought I want to leave them with. We've talked a lot about the technical aspects of AI lakehouses, but what about the human element?
That's a great point. It's easy to get caught up in the tech itself, but at the end of the day, it's people who will be using these tools and making decisions based on the insights they provide. Right.
So for our listener out there, I have a challenge for you. Think about the biggest problems you face in your work, the questions you wish you had answers to, the tasks that take up too much of your time. Now imagine you had access to an AI lakehouse with all its speed, efficiency, and analytical power. How would you use it? What could you accomplish?
What a fantastic question to ponder. It really highlights the transformative potential of this technology. It's not just about crunching numbers or automating tasks. It's about augmenting human intelligence and creativity.
Right.
It's about empowering people to make better decisions and solve complex problems.
It's about giving people the tools they need to be more effective, more creative, and ultimately more human.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about using technology to enhance our humanity, not replace it.
And that's something worth getting excited about.
Absolutely. It's an incredibly exciting time to be alive, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for AI and the human race.
Me neither. Until next time, keep those minds curious and stay informed, deep divers. You're so right. It's easy to get caught up in the tech, but ultimately it's about how we use these tools to improve our lives and work smarter, not harder.
Absolutely. And speaking of working smarter, there's one more thing about Hopsworks that really impressed me.
Okay.
They're taking this AI Lakehouse concept and applying it to a field that could truly benefit from this kind of innovation.
Ooh, you've got my curiosity piqued.
Yeah.
Now I have to know, what is it?
They've developed something called Hopsworks Medical Copilot.
A medical co-pilot. Okay, that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Right.
Tell me more. What exactly is that?
So it's not about replacing doctors. It's about giving them a powerful new tool to enhance patient care. Imagine an AI assistant that can analyze complex medical data like patient records, lab results,
Right.
and even medical images.
So it's like having an AI that can assist doctors in making faster, more accurate diagnoses. That sounds incredibly valuable, especially with the amount of information doctors have to process these days.
Think about it. A doctor sees dozens of patients a week, each with their own medical history and test results. It's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
But with Hopsworks Medical Copilot, doctors can get instant insights and identify potential issues that might have otherwise been missed.
That's amazing. It's like having a second set of eyes, but these eyes are powered by AI and can analyze massive amounts of data in seconds.
Exactly. And it's not just about diagnosis either.
Oh.
Hopsworks suggests this technology could also personalize treatment plans,
Ow.
predict patient outcomes, and even accelerate medical research.
Wow. We're talking about potentially life-saving applications here. It's incredible to think that the same technology that powers personalized betting odds could also help doctors make better, faster decisions that could save lives.
It really highlights the transformative potential of AI lakehouses.
Yeah.
It's not limited to just one industry or application, but can be adapted to solve complex problems in all sorts of fields.
I love how these deep dives always take us to unexpected places. We started talking about data storage, and now we're talking about the future of healthcare.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you never know where curiosity will lead.
That's the beauty of it. And for our listener, it's a reminder that we live in an era of incredible technological advancement.
Right.
We're only scratching the surface of what's possible with AI.
So true. And while we've covered a lot of ground today, from the technical nuts and bolts of AI lakehouses to their potential impact on everything from business to healthcare, remember, this is just the beginning of the journey.
Absolutely. We've given you the map, but now it's up to you to explore the territory.
If today's deep dive has sparked your curiosity, we encourage you to check out the show notes for links to some of the resources we've discussed. And if you have any questions or want to share your own insights, don't hesitate to reach out to us on social media. We love connecting with our fellow deep divers.
Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
And remember, the future is full of possibilities. So dive in and discover what awaits.
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.